Hello, this is Willie, and we're ready for lesson 30. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Yesterday was God is in everything I see. So now we're just continuing that thought a little further. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Wanted to bring attention to something I found out about these yuccas that I showed you yesterday that they're good for a number of things according to a lot of lore and what was that, the WebMD. Didn't say how you should eat them though. I found out kind of the hard way that better not be eaten raw, at least the root. Makes nice soap raw. You just beat it up, I understand. And the saponins come out. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. But I understand that the best way to do these is to boil them for 25 minutes. Otherwise, they're not very good for you. They could, or not, they have some toxic elements in them. So, all these things you need to research out. I'm just learning as I go. Uh, got a few more good smelling uh, carnations. I just love the smell of these. And those ones I showed you a day or two ago are even getting bigger. And anyway, I'm just kind of keeping a supply. Remember, I told you about my nephew Sean made his crossing, and his little daughters just wanted to get some more flowers for all the women in their lives. So anyway, we've got a few and spread them around. So for the lesson for today, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. The idea for today is the springboard for vision. From this idea will the world open up before you, and you will look upon it and see in it what you have never seen before, nor will what you saw before even be faintly visible to you. 2. Today we're trying to use the new kind of projection. We're not attempting to get rid of what we do not like by seeing it outside. Instead, we're trying to see in the world what is in our minds and what we want to recognize is there. Thus, we're trying to join with what we see rather than keeping it apart from us. That is the fundamental difference between vision and the way you see. What it's trying to tell us is that in vision, we see abstractly, is what it says in another place in the course, that we see everything as one. In the way that we see as a separated self, we see each thing as separate from the self. But that's what we're trying to reverse. We're trying to recognize that we're all part of this body, what the Bible calls the body of Christ. Each of us individually performing our individual functions. I like to think of each of those of our parts as cells making up my body. I've got a blood cell, lots of blood cells, lots of bone cells, lots of all these different cells, they make up will. But from a cell level, each cell may conceive of itself as an independent entity. But we're trying to teach ourselves that we're not independent entities. We all work together, and they know that. I think we can have an influence on how they function by the way that their higher self, which would be us, conceives of ourselves. But what we're trying to learn at this point is that we're not separate. And this is the springboard to vision, is what he's saying. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Third paragraph. Today's idea should be applied as often as possible throughout the day. Whenever you have a moment or so, repeat it to yourself slowly, looking about you and trying to realize that the idea applies to everything you do see now or could see now if it were within the range of your sight. 4. Real vision is not limited to concepts such as near and far. To help you begin to get used to this idea, try to think of things beyond your present range, as well as those you can actually see, as you apply today's idea. Real vision is not only unlimited by space and distance, but it does not depend on the body's eyes at all. The mind is its only source. This is really liberating once we begin to get an inkling of what he's trying to tell us. We basically transcend death with this concept. And the last paragraph. To aid in helping you to become more accustomed to this idea as well, devote several practice periods to applying today's idea with your eyes closed, using whatever subjects come to mind, and looking within rather than without. Today's idea applies equally to both inner world and outer world. So we just want to start seeing that God is everywhere present. That's a nice way of thinking about it too. So until tomorrow, practice your lesson in God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. It will truly bless us. Peace.